Okay, quiz number 3. A lot of this is just going to be old material from previous grade levels. Unfortunately, it's material that a lot of times been forgotten, gotten a little rusty, or was just never mastered. So let's go through it. First two things, we need to make sure that you know these two definitions. All positive and negative whole numbers and zero. What describes this definition? Well, it would be integers. Yep, all positive and negative whole numbers and zero. No decimals, no fractions. Now, what about this? What's any number that can be written as a fraction? Well, rational numbers. Any number that you can write as a fraction. 2 can be written as a fraction. Negative 3 can be written as a fraction. 0.1 can be written as a fraction. Um, 0 itself can be written as a fraction. All of these are rational numbers because we can turn them into a fraction. And of course, if it already is a fraction, even if it's improper, a fraction is a fraction. If you can write it as a fraction, it's a rational number. Comparing fractions, we've got two different ways that I've shown you how to do it. We've got the old-fashioned way. It's the proper way. You take whatever you need to multiply both fractions, top and bottom, to make it have the same denominator. So let's take a look at this 3. Since it's sitting over here and this has got a 5, let's move this 3 over here and multiply top and bottom by 3. And we get 3/15. Now let's take this 5 right over here and multiply top and bottom of the other fraction by 5, and we get 5/15. So the proper way is make sure that they have common denominator and then compare the numerators. 5 is bigger than 3, so 1/3 is bigger than 1/5. Then we've got this other style that never was shown to me as a kid and a little jealous, but thankfully it's out there and it helps you out when you don't have to show work especially. You cross multiply. 7 times 4 is 28, and 9 times 3 is 27. Which one's bigger, 28 or 27? There we go. So the left side is bigger. Only thing I want to mention to you is see this 4 that was involved in multiplication of the 7. Always put the product of what you multiply right here by the top number. So 9 times 3, we're going to put the answer right here by the 3. Okay? That's comparing fractions. Um, if you're comparing two decimals, just stack them up. Okay? So literally stack them right on top of each other. And I'm going to put 4.1 right here so we can remember that's what was there. If the decimals do not have the same length, just start putting in zeros there to make them the same length. And then just pretend like that decimal's not there. This is 421. This is 410. Which one's bigger? Yeah, 421 wins. So this side is bigger. This side is greater than 4.1. Um, Even if you can't remember the name of greater than or less than, let's just think of it like this. It's an alligator and it's always going to eat the biggest number. Now, this is a good example right here of when the decimals are not the same size. Obviously, the whole numbers are the same as this over here. So all we have to do is add in zeros and then compare. Well, this is 333 and this is 600. So I know that that is the bigger number. Decimals are pretty easy to compare. Most of you did better on that. Now, when we get into comparing a decimal to a fraction, I don't want you to get all caught up and wondering what to do. I just want you to kind of breathe and just take it slow, okay? 19.2, well, I can make that into a fraction and get common denominators, do the cross multiplication, but how about we make this one into a decimal? How do we do that? We take the top number and divide it by the bottom number. So it's 39 divided by 2. Now, if you had a calculator, you would type in 39 divided by 2, and then you would hit enter or the equal sign, okay? So this is what you would type in if you had a calculator. But when you've got to set it up on paper manually, you've got to put the 39 behind that bracket, okay? 2 goes into 3 one time. Pull down the 9, right? 2 goes into 19 9 times. So now we got 18 there. Let me just erase this calculator note here. And then we pull down, you know, the next zero that we have to put, and since we're putting this decimal here, go ahead and put it right above it. Put in the zero carefully, drag it straight down. Here's the zero, 2 goes into 10 5 times, and nothing's left over. So 39.2 is the same as 19.5. And that makes it kind of nice because we can drag this right over here, stack it up. What's bigger, 195 or 192? 195 wins. Over here, it's the exact same thing. Take the fraction, make it into a decimal so we can compare. So here's the 1, it goes inside, and here's the 8. 8 goes into 1 exactly 0 times. We need to add on a 0, so we'll put the decimal top and bottom right here. Go ahead and add on our 0. 8 goes into 10 once. Extend this out a little more. Add another 0 and drop it. 8 goes into 20 twice. One more 0. 8 goes into 40 5 times. So this is 0.125. The exact same decimal, so we'll just use a equal sign. That's about it, folks. Can you compare fraction to fraction? Can you compare decimal to decimal? Can you compare a fraction to a decimal? And don't forget our two terms, integers and rational numbers.